They say the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but that's not always true. Sometimes they're just another enemy. Welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Andrew Boyd, and today we will be looking at the top 10 comic book villains who hate each other. Let's dive in. Number 10, Carnage and Joker. When it comes to Marvel and DC villain crossovers, many of you will probably first think of Joker's adversarial relationship with the Red Skull, but that one's been talked about a lot, and I'm also trying to limit the number of Joker entries on the list, so I'd rather talk about Joker's relationship with another Marvel villain, Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage. In the Spider-Man and Batman comic of 1995, we get a story set on an alternate Earth where Spider-Man and Batman live in the same universe. Carnage in this story is a fan of the Joker, as he is the only other person who gets the joke that life is utterly meaningless, totally absurd, and madness is the only sane response. The two decide to start working together since they have so much in common, but things soon turn sour. Carnage soon becomes tired of Joker's complex and convoluted schemes, believing that it's more fun to just kill as many people as possible. Joker despises Carnage's lack of style, calling himself the Orson Welles of murder and comparing Carnage to David Hasselhoff. The two begin trying to kill each other, their team up over before it could ever really even begin. Number 9, Ultron and Dr. Doom. During the events of the first Secret Wars, the villainous robot Ultron was destroyed by Galactus. His lifeless body was found by Dr. Doom, who saw the amazing opportunity in front of him and repaired the robot, programming it to be his loyal servant. Ultron served Doom for a while, but Doom eventually lost control of him. Ultron didn't take kindly to being forced to serve Doom and became the Latvian dictator's enemy. They have fought several times over the years, and many of the possible futures shown in Marvel feature Doom and Ultron still locked in battle. In Avengers of the Wastelands #1, Doom easily destroys Ultron, who has retired to be a mechanic. The 2099 version of Doom was captured by Ultron and even teamed up with the Savage Avengers in order to get a chance to destroy his old enemy, showing that no matter what the timeline, these two simply will not get along. Number 8, Killer Croc and Bane. During the infamous Nightfall arc, Bane enacted a plan to break Batman and take over Gotham City. While his plan is in progress, he sees Killer Croc on a rampage on the news. He finds out that Croc had attempted a similar plan and had come pretty close to taking out Batman, so Bane decides that he should fight Croc in order to prove his worthiness. He attacks Croc and easily breaks his arm and beats him to a pulp. This leads to Croc hating Bane and vowing revenge, eventually tracking Bane to the sewers and attacking him, even ignoring a tied-up Robin, favoring his revenge match over taking out one of Batman's allies. Bane beats Croc again without too much trouble, which only solidified Croc's hatred for the Venom-enhanced villain. Number 7, Gorilla Grodd and Deathstroke. This feud began in Titans number 11, when Slade Wilson's ex-wife Addie Kane was kidnapped by Vandal Savage, causing Deathstroke to try and rescue her. He found her being held at knife point by Gorilla Grodd, who took the opportunity to cut her throat in front of him. This of course made Deathstroke swear revenge on Grodd, and when he was hired by Blockbuster, the Nightwing villain, not the movie store, to go to Gorilla City to find him a new heart in the Birds of Prey Hostage Heart arc, Deathstroke took the opportunity to go rogue. He ditched the other members of his team and tore a path of destruction through the jungle, searching for Grodd. In the end, Grodd got away and Deathstroke was unable to avenge his wife. In the current DC continuity, Slade's wife is alive and well, so he and Grodd really have no beef. But it's a shame we never got to see this storyline resolved before the continuity was reset. Number 6, Green Goblin and Hobgoblin. When the first Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, was presumed dead, one of his weapon stashes was found by Roderick Kingsley, a businessman and a criminal. He used the weapons and the journals he found to craft a villainous persona of his own, the Hobgoblin. When Norman read about this new goblin, he almost left his hiding spot in Europe to destroy Kingsley, enraged that someone had stolen his gimmick. When Osborn finally did return to New York, Kingsley was in prison, and he became enraged that Norman was living a life of luxury while he rotted in jail. He got word to Norman that he had a journal that proved Norman was the Green Goblin, and Norman was forced to break Roderick out of jail so he could get his hands on the infamous journal. The entire time they were working together, they were planning on betraying each other, and when Hobgoblin discovered that Osborn had taken over his companies and the majority of his fortune, the two psychos did battle, each intending to destroy the other. In the years since, the two have come to blows a few different times, never being able to bury their hatred for each other. Number 5. Lex Luthor and General Zod. Lex Luthor has hated Superman for a variety of reasons over the years. In the classic Superman stories, he held Superman responsible for making him bald. In others, he felt that Superman humiliated him at their first meeting. Sometimes it's narcissism, making him hate anyone who is more beloved than him, and often it is because he believes that Kryptonians make humanity weak and compliant. He hates Superman because he is an alien god who he doesn't trust, which is why it shouldn't be surprising that Lex also hates the Kryptonian General Zod. In the last Son of Krypton arc, General Zod comes to Metropolis and takes it over, capturing the Justice League and banishing Superman to the Phantom Zone. Now, Lex isn't the type to allow some filthy alien to take over his hometown, and also sensing an opportunity to be seen as the city's savior, he assembles a team to defeat Zod and his men and send them back to the Phantom Zone. He is so intent on getting rid of Zod that when Superman returns, Lex even teams up with the Man of Steel to save the city, retaking the Fortress of Solitude by his side. Of course, he eventually tries to betray Superman, but he was smart enough to know Zod was the priority. Number 4. Joker and Bane. In another of Bane's plans to break Batman, he took over the city and held Alfred the Butler hostage. When Robin tried to get into Gotham, he was captured, and Bane broke Alfred's neck in front of the Boy Wonder, killing the Butler. This, of course, earned him hatred from Batman, Robin, and the entire Bat family, but also someone rather unexpected, the Joker. In the first issue of Joker Warzone, the Clown Prince of Crime breaks into Arkham Asylum, where Bane is hooked up to a machine that is draining him of his venom. Joker lets Bane know that he is angry because Alfred was Bruce's last parental figure, and that hurting him would have hurt Batman more than anything else. And Bane chose to kill him in front of Robin instead of Batman. Joker hates Bane for wasting the best weapon that could ever be used against the Bat. Joker calls Bane pathetic and vows that someday, when he least expects it, he will kill him. Number 3. Red Hulk and the Abomination. Thunderbolt Ross has been a longtime enemy of the Hulk, and was certainly an antagonist to the Green Goliath, but wasn't much of an outright villain. I mean, sure, he did try to shoot Bruce Banner on his wedding day, but these things happen. He did eventually become more villainous after the villain known as the Abomination killed his daughter, Betty. Around this same time, the Hulk was sent off-planet by the Illuminati, and Ross felt like he had no purpose until he was approached by the villain group, the Intelligentsia. They offered him the means to have gamma powers if he agreed to work for them. He agreed and was transformed into the Red Hulk, a villainous variation on the original. He wasted no time in hunting down the Abomination, finding him in a small Russian village, and attacking him, beating him to a pulp for what he did to Betty. The fight resulted in the village and all of its inhabitants being killed, but Ross didn't care, and even ended the fight by shooting and killing Blonsky with a gamma pistol. Ross eventually left the Intelligentsia and operates in a bit more of a gray area now, but his final confrontation with Abomination stands out as a fun start to his career as a Hulk. Number 2. Venom and Carnage. After Eddie Brock was put in jail, he was made cellmates with notorious mass murderer Cletus Cassidy. The two did not get along, with Eddie despising Cletus for his twisted history and worldview, and Eddie decided to brutally beat him several times while they were imprisoned together. Cletus planned to murder Brock one night, but was interrupted when the Venom symbiote broke Eddie out of jail. The symbiote was pregnant and gave birth to the Carnage symbiote that bonded with Cletus, creating a villain that was even more powerful than Spider-Man and Venom. Venom, although a murderous villain at this point in his history, was extremely reverent to innocent lives and hated Carnage so much that he even teamed up with Spider-Man, his arch-enemy, to help the webbed wallcrawler take out Cletus and his symbiote. Venom is now more of an anti-hero than villain, but his rivalry with Carnage has been a consistent element of the character to this very day. Number 1. Magneto and the Red Skull. Magneto was a Jewish man who lost his entire family and was sent to Auschwitz by the Germans during World War II. The Red Skull was a high-ranking member of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, whose more commonly used name I'm not allowed to say on this channel, so it makes sense that Magneto would really hate the Red Skull's guts. We witnessed this this in Captain America number 367, when the Red Skull was suddenly attacked in his office by the Master of Magnetism. Magneto demanded to know if Red Skull was the same Red Skull who was operating during World War II. Upon Red Skull's confirmation that he was the same man, Magneto informed him that he had sworn revenge against anyone who had been involved with the German army in World War II. Seemingly unable to read the room, Red Skull decides that this is the moment to pull a "we're not so different, you and I," and points out that Magneto's willingness to kill humans who he considers inferior to mutants in order to further the advancement of his people, who he considers a master race, makes him pretty hypocritical. Magneto is not a fan of this admittedly kinda valid point, and responds by capturing Red Skull and locking him in a bomb shelter all alone with no means of escape and nothing to survive on but 10 gallons of water. Magneto tells Red Skull that he wants to make him suffer as he made others suffer during the war, and that he is going to wish that he had killed him. He then leaves him to his fate, alone in the dark. Any other supervillains who can't stand the sight of each other? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe for more Top 10 Nerd.